Item number 8, approve the hiring of Ariston Architecture in the net total amount of $13,050 for the architectural design of new entrances for Ramsey Elementary School, Gateway High School rear entrance, Evergreen Elementary School, and University Park Elementary School, as depicted in Exhibit B.
Question. This is our current architect, correct?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes,
And
that's
it
correct.
includes a 10% discount?
It included a discount of $1,200. The initial quoted amount depicted in the note was $14,250.
Good.
$1,200 credit was applied.
Gotcha, okay.
Is that a different name?
Yeah, Ariston, it's probably been that way for at least the last year, year and a half.
Okay.
It was Apostol and Associates
Yeah.
prior to that.
Why are we not putting this out to bid if we had actually voted in a prior board meeting in December to rebid our architect? And now we're actually hiring an architect and we've never put any architecture firms out for bid.
We've always had them as our architect of record.
Right, but didn't the board in December, didn't somebody make a motion and the board approved to put that out to bid?
Well, I believe for RFPs, but that hasn't been moved forward with.
So when would that be
We
planned
were
on being
looking at-
moved forward?
Eliminating the credits from this crew with just these smaller projects, and then eventually going out to bid on a new architectural firm for big projects.
So this would be the last deal with them until we actually go out to bid for another architect?
Yes.
Because I would assume that this is the end of the credit.
No,
If we're
actually
good-
not. There's actually still additional credits, which I can actually tell you exact amount.
How long could they potentially bounce that down? You know what I mean?
After the application of this $1,200 credit, there would still be remaining $11,593 in credits.
You know, one of the things I have thought about with respect to this is that as long as they're small projects and we know they're within market and we know these are within market, let's exhaust the credits. But if we go for a major project, then I think, I agree with you, we should go out and bid that project or those projects.
Just to give you an example, the last time that we had some application of the credits was when they assisted in the design of the various roof projects. They applied $8,450 in credits towards those fees. So, and that was from the original amount of credits of $21,243. So again, just based on, these are much smaller projects. These are just renderings that they would be doing moving forward for that.
Drawings of the facade of the buildings.
All right. Does anybody have any more questions for Mr. Schott on item 8?
I do.
Go ahead, Brian.
To the renderings, do we get to see them prior to hiring these people, or?
That's what they would be doing.
Okay, so we hire them to do them.
Correct. Yeah.
And if we don't pick the rendering, do we go with somebody else at that point?
Well, I think once my take on it is that once the renderings are done, we'd be able to analyze them and see what we would like to either pursue them further, depending on how they look for that, but we won't know that until they're able to come in and actually do them. I know Mr. Brown has had some discussion with them in terms of what the district's looking for. We've actually met with them several months ago, also talking about myself and Dr. Short, to review that process as well. So this is just the initial process. It's not to say that we would actually go forward with the exact renderings or even go out to bid to actually make these modifications. That would be for some future discussion with Buildings and Grounds Committee as well, whether they would be worthy of pursuing as a project, an upcoming capital project or not.
All right, and the cost for all,
Net cost would $13,050.
13,000 just for the renderings?
Yeah.
Yes, for drawings.
Okay.
Just an architect.
There's three of them involved, correct?
That's three buildings.
Three projects, actually four.
Four?
The inside hallway of the,
That's right. Doing the back
The high
side.
school,
high
yes.
school.
You know where the entrance is, where so many people who are not next to the garbage.
The garbage dump entrance.
Right, we're gonna do that, we're doing Evergreen, Ramsey, and UP. So it'll be 4 renderings.
Mr. Brown, you had a meeting today?
I did.
Any information you could share with the group?
That our initial thoughts were that this group may be disbanding,
Mhm.
retiring. That has been dispelled. They are staying intact and keep waiting on the board's approval to move forward with this.
Okay.
I did present them with the drawings that you had forwarded me, just to give them some direction on what to go with. And prior to doing it, they will be over the top with us some more, kind of to get the ideas from the Buildings and Ground Committee, yourself, myself, on kind of a direction to go, to kind of keep it focused on more what we're looking for, rather than just an open-ended.
And just so the public is aware, we've had ongoing conversations and discussions and building and grounds meetings about the facades of our buildings, meaning the entrances, one in particular, Ramsey Elementary. I don't think it's been touched in probably 20 years. The former work that was completed involved taking out some pots and plants and basically landscaping it with concrete. And as you walk in there, it is a sea of concrete without really any focus on the main entrance. So part of what we're talking about here would be really taking the next step and creating a welcoming environment for an elementary building, not only at Ramsey, but University Park as well. So just to inform the public.
And as Scotty said before, in past meetings, and school board meetings and building and grounds meetings, that our elementary schools are kind of the face of our district and they sell our district. And when you look at how outdated they are and how uninviting they are, we felt that that was something that would just be an overall improvement for the whole image of Gateway School District. Not to mention that some of the entrances have rotting
Yes.
wood above them, and it's not just aesthetics, some of it just is needed repairs. So we're trying to combine the two and help with the overall appearance of the district and make the elementary schools
And
inviting
this would
to
be
new people.
the second step in the process. Last summer, Mr. Brown spearheaded a project that was roughly $3.8 million, infrastructure related to heating and air, anything else, roofs at the various elementary buildings that took up a lot of time. And Steve O'Donnell was very influential in moving this
Steve
project
did a
forward.
lot to lead that project. Thank you, Steve.
I took the
Boy, you're
cue.
pushing me out,
I
Paul.
took the cue. But,
Anything, Mr.
you know, this
Building
would be
Grounds?
the next step. You know, we've improved the insides of the buildings that were desperately needed. So now we want to work on the outsides to not only make them more appealing, but functioning at a better level.
Yes, my only other question was, where did this credit with them originate? How did we end up with them owing us money essentially?
That originated from work that was not moved forward with. It has nothing to do with any billing errors. I want to dispel that. It came from
That's
projects that they were
that's
directed to do that did not materialize into formal projects. So based on some discussions we had with them in regards to those items, that's when they came back to the table and calculated out the 21,000 and change for that.
Again, at some point it was decided to take that back in small doses and credits, or was it ever thought about to get the money back in a chunk?
Well, that again, they voluntarily had done that. There were some discussions with that, but the application of the credits has been, we've had some, let me just back up and say, we've had some discussions. I know Mr. Brown has had some specific discussions with them on that, but it's essentially entirely up to them in terms of the amounts for that. Believe my first thought whenever we got to that point was to say, well, let's just apply them all and end up with a free project, so to speak, for that and make them go away. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
Or just a straight refund wasn't a
No.
possibility?
Oh, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything on section 8? Steve, you want to add anything? All right, section 9.